Welcome back, guys. Reggie versus Solace coming back with you with some TBC content, right? I've been happily playing the game. I'm going to do a video breakdown of my gear, probably in the next couple videos. But now I want to talk about something that I kind of just discovered. We were zugzagging some heroics, and I was able to test to see if Thunderfury is still viable as a offhand weapon due to the proc. Of course, we know Thunderfury was nerfed in TBC Classic. It deals less threat. You're not going to be able to maintain the big amounts of threat like you had in World of Warcraft Classic. And also the low DPS on it, as it's only, I think, 53 point something DPS. And there is blues in the game that are like 70 to 80, some 90 DPS as your offhand, or at least your main hand. But I was able to do some testing and some crazy results. So I just want to share those with you. And let me know, let you guys know what I'm kind of theorizing right now. Reggie versus Solace, Thunderfury Deep Dive in TBC Classic. Let's go. All right. So I just ran a heroic. I think it was Mana Tombs. It might be just that raid, that instance. It was heroic though, and something kind of came out of that. I noticed that I was doing some pretty decent DPS. At least in Cleave in Whirlwind spec. Of course, that's what I'm running now. Fury, all the way through 3 points into improved Cleave. Of course, my Cleave spec, you gotta cleave things down in order to be viable someplace on the charts. Warriors right now have rage regeneration issues. So we're suffering on single target mobs. But for 2 or more mob fights, we're doing pretty good with Cleave spec right now. And that's, of course, what I'm running all the way through. I am not tanking, and I'm not going arms. Arms is very viable in TBC. I'm not doing that. I'm going my dual spec all the way through. And luckily, I'm with the guild that allows me to do so. If you're not, tough titty. But I am, and I strive, if you're going to play Warrior, find a guild that's going to allow you to do Fury if you want to do that. Or, I know each raid wants to have 1 arms warrior for the buff to be able to do arms also. All right, so let's get to it. See the numbers on the screen here. 2 things that stood out to me. One, of course, Warlocks do big dig damage with Seed of Corruption. So Equimanthorn, shout out to Equi, shout out to Purge. Was doing some big things in that Mana Tombs as Seed of Corruption with packs. It's just amazing. As you can see here, it was 32% of his damage. Shadowbolt was 43. He was just destroying stuff. But then I was also a second, which was crazy. So if you look at my damage overall for the dungeon, melee, of course, is going to be your bread and butter, 32%. Of course, Whirlwind came in second. I was doing 158k damage with Whirlwind, 19% of my damage. The Execute was 8%. When you look at the numbers in greater detail, which shocked me, because mostly, and I'll go over my weapons real quick, but this is the first time I think I've ever, since I hit 70, used, well, I guess past my first character, because I got crazy weapon upgrades, that I used Thunderfury again. And I did. And so what I noticed is that it came in at 8 as a level 60 legendary item. In my offhand, it procced 133 times for 38k damage, which equaled out to 4.7, almost 5% of my overall damage. Now, is it a small sample size? Yes, it is Mana Tombs Heroic, not the regular. So you are facing level 71 mobs in there. But it was still shocking to be 4.7. I thought it would be like 1% or something. I thought it was nerfed dramatically. The threat was nerfed, which is great. Not great for tanking with it, but great for having it in your offhand. And you guys know I love the Thunderfury. As you guys can see, my boy Warblade, he's also rocking the Blink Strike. I was able to get that. I'll do a deep dive of all of my stuff. But it would shock me that that Thunderfury was 8th on my overall for 4.7. That's kind of what it did in Classic WoW. And I used it all the way through. Once I got it in phase, I think 5, I used it all the way through next. That was my offhand. I didn't want to do anything else. I mean, the Hungering Cold is a piece of shit weapon right now. And the Thunderfury is way better than that, which I knew it was going to be. So that's why I passed on Hungering Cold. That is a classic weapon, not for TBC. And I'm rocking the Thunderfury. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of that. It was crazy. It goes very well with Blink Strike. As you guys can see, rocking Blink Strike, it affects a lot. It affects your cleave, your heroic strike, everything. And it was proccing like a madman. Blink Strike is very good if you can find it for cheap on your auction house, or if you happen to run into it, because it is a world drop. It can drop anywhere in the world. I guess level 70 mobs, I guess, or something, or whatever it is. But it dropped for me and Kara, so I do have Blink Strike with Thunderfury, and these were the results. I may try it in a raid. It might be dicey, but it did work for me in Manitombs, which was shocking. So that's the video there. You can see the Blink Strike working with it, on everything. Bloodthirst, Sweeping Strikes. Blink Strike was just doing his thing, but also Thunderfury was 8th as far as my damage, and still doing about 4.5 to 5.0% of my damage in a raid or instance or 5-man, which is shocking. Yeah. So that's the combo I was rocking: Blink Strike with Crusader and Thunderfury with Crusader. It may scale a little bit better with Mongoose. I'll test those out once the Void Crystals drop down in price. We'll do a deep dive on all the upgrades I have. I'm almost all level 70 epic out. I think I'm missing another trinket and some boots, and that's about it. I'll have everything level 70 or better as far as epics go. So let me know what you guys think. This is Reggie vs. Solace TBC content for your WoW needs. Thunderfury, still a great offhand. Who knew? Talk to you guys next time. Be amazing.